Hi, welcome to Copenhagen. If you're watching on replay, thanks for dropping by. So, moving on with Springtime Beauty from Diamond Art Club. Finally, about to start a full section, which will be this one. So far, I've only done this strip all the way across the bottom. It's just the way that the release paper ended up. So, if you haven't seen this one, this is the picture, and the area that I'm working on is down here. That leaf there is here. So that's where I'm at, as they say. And time to change colour. So I'm using a combination of Tic Tac containers and Craft Mates lockables. So the Tic Tacs are in a case. So these cases have a foam insert, so if I take that out, you can see there's a little space for it, and it means that the cases are not next to each other. If you get the basic Tic Tac container kits, they're in a plastic box that has no spaces between them. They can be a bit of a pain to get out, and then when you do get them out, sometimes they slide or fall over. It can be a bit fiddly. The other thing about these cases is they have a lid which has a mesh net in it. So if you've got any extra bags and stuff, you can keep them in the lid. The basic Tic Tac boxes don't have that. So it makes a huge difference. So that's where most of the drills are. But when I get kits that have got a lot of one colour, I use these Craftmates lockables. So you can see I got a lot more in them. If I can remember, if I'm using Diamond Art Club and the very big bags, they are 2,000 drills per bag, and I can get 5 bags in one of these sections, so I can get 10,000 drills in one section. When I did Batman from Diamond Art Club, all of these were full of 310. So really handy if you have a lot of one colour, and they have a little button there. If you press that in and hold it, it releases the door, and there's a little spring in there. You can maybe see the mechanism if I push it. So if you drop them, they won't open unless you drop them and they land on the button. Then that's going to be a big mess because it could open all the doors at one time. But yeah, they're very handy. So I use a combination of the Tic Tacs and these. The normal size Tic Tac boxes or containers hold, I'm going the wrong way, hold 1,000 drills. So most kits, you won't have 1,000 of one colour. You tend to have certain colours you have a lot of, and a lot of the other colours there aren't that many. This one has 67 colours. So you can see this one doesn't have a lot in it, but it has a lot of static. A lot of people have been talking about the static with Diamond Art Club drills. Seemingly they've fixed the problem. I don't know what happened. I think they maybe changed the way they made them or something. Diamond Art Club make their own drills, so whatever they did, they suddenly went through a period where they were getting a lot of static. I've seen a lot of people writing about it, and this is one. So you can see the drills are stuck to the side, static electricity. But most of these colours, I've only got one box. This one only has this amount of drills. You find that the more colours you have, you tend to get less of each colour. But after saying that, I've got 8 that are pretty big, and that isn't all of them. The spare full bags I've put in the lid, so they're in behind the mesh. So like this one here, 3799, 3799, and that is number 58. So what I do is, if I've got an awful lot of one colour, I don't fill everything with them. I just put the bags in the lid and then open them when I need them. This one's 3607. It's number 54. And at the moment, number 54, I've got a full box and half or less. So what I'll do is I'll use up these, and then I'll open the bag, and then I'll refill them again. So as normal, square drills using tweezers, and these are my new favourites, ceramic tipped tweezers. They're not as sharp as the ones that are normally used. These were the tweezers that I used all the time. They're very, very sharp. But I've found that these ceramic tweezers are just easier to it's very easy to just get the right pressure to pick up a drill. They're a different shape, and I think that's what helps. They're more sort of bowed. If you look at the gaps, the gap is much bigger in these, and I think that really helps to control the tweezers. I find them very, very comfortable, but I still use these now and again. If I have a drill that I decide is defective, or I've put it in the wrong place and it's in the middle of a bunch of drills, I'll use the metal tip ones because they're much sharper. It's easier to get in the gap to pop them up to replace them. The ceramic tips are a bit more blunt. Not exactly blunt, but you're not going to stab yourself with them. So, yeah. See, these are my new favourites. Okay. So number 6. So what I do is I work by numbers. I don't work by the DMC code. I have to remember everything's upside down. So number 6 is the 3 dots, DMC code 154. So my container is labelled number 6. So that is this colour. So what I do is, it actually works pretty well because my tray slides just under this. Press the button, pop the lid. So this is the only one that's open, these are still locked. Get a little spoon, take some drills, put them in the tray. And then what I do, so I don't forget which one it is I put a green tray on top. So I know that is where I took them from. In the past, sometimes I would forget what colour it was, and sometimes it would be shades that were very close. So I started putting a green tray. The reason this has got a J on it is my wife and I were working on the same diamond painting, Sail Away by Randall Spangler, another diamond art club. We were working on it at the same time, and sometimes we'd be working on colours that were next to each other. So we had 2 green trays. So what we did was we put our initials on our trays, so we knew this is the one I'm working on, and that would be the one that she was working on, whatever. So it saved that confusion, because at the very beginning we were just putting green trays, and then we'd have a green tray side by side, and we had to actually look to see what colour it was. So that's why it's got the J. It never had anything on it up until that point. It was just because we were working on the same kit at the same time. So I'll put that out of the way, put the tray back on it so I don't forget the number. And then we're on to 6. So getting the drills flat. I know Diamond Art Club now give trays in their kits that have a stopper at the end to stop the drills spilling out. I've never had an issue with that because when I hold the tray, I tilt it slightly back and then just shake it from side to side, and the drills flip over the ridges. That's what they're meant to do, and then they end up all sitting flat. You don't want to shake it really hard because if you do that, the drills will jump out and flip back over again. So it's just enough to make them flip. And you'll hear at the beginning when you first pour in a pile and you shake it, you hear quite loud. And if you keep doing it, it gradually gets less and less and less until maybe the ones that aren't on the ridges maybe slide about. But I don't know if you can hear that. It's like maracas. The drills are all sitting the right way up. Even the one that's sliding about at the end that you can maybe hear moving. So I don't use any kind of stopper at the end of the tray. I've never done it. I've never needed it. So to get back to this, number 6 is the 3 dots. And when I'm doing the diamond paintings, I do the checkerboard technique as much as possible. So basically you're leaving a space between each drill. Sometimes it's just small areas, but on big areas, it'll just be one massive checkerboard. And I find that helps to keep things nice and straight. So then it's just a matter of going back and filling in the gaps. And what I do is, with the tweezers, I don't try and push the tweezers into the gap because the gap is the size of a drill. And if you're trying to put the tips of your tweezers in as well, it doesn't work. So what I do is basically drop the drill and then just, well, that happens as well, but just push down top. Find out what side is sitting up and then just press it and it'll slide into the gap, hopefully. Usually it's okay. Every once in a while you get one that just keeps bouncing about. If you don't have any patience, you won't want to do that. But I find it's easier to do that, and I like the fact that the ceramic tips aren't as sharp, so I can't accidentally scratch the drills or damage the drills, which I like. And I'm working on a tilted table, drafting table, but I don't have it at a very high angle. So what I do when I get the kits, when I go to start them, is I take the original clear cover off because I don't like it. If you try and cut it, it goes all over the place. I don't like being able to see through everything all the time. I prefer just to do a section at a time. The only reason this is uncovered was it was to save me moving stuff. Normally, I would have this placemat over the top of this until it was finished, and then I'd slide it back and start working on the next section. But I knew I was getting close to finishing this, so to save a bit of time while I'm doing this on camera, I kept this open. But normally it would be like that, so you can't see it. All I see normally is a section that I work on at a time, and I like that. I like just seeing a piece at a time, and then at the end I take all the mats off and I can see the whole thing. And normally I would put a mat, when this is finished, this section, I would put a mat over the top to stop any hairs or dust or anything getting in between the drills. But just so people can see what I'm working on, I've kept it open. But you can see how shiny the drills are if I move the light. This is the Diamond Art Club's own drills. They're really, really shiny. So that's it. Wasn't much of them. Put the rest back. And then the next colour, 49, which happens to be this one. And I only need one drill, so no point pulling them out, just lift one out. That was easy. Next one is U, which is 55. So back to the Tic Tacs, number 55, very bright pink. I only need 2 drills. Normally when I try and do that, I pour like 20 or 30. 2 drills and they both landed the right way up. What are the chances? And then the upside down T is number 50, which is this colour, but static again. You can see the drills are sticking to the side of the container. But I only need 2. That time I got 4. Close enough. So one more drill in this little section will be done. "67 colours in this one. That is a lot of colour. I've seen some new symbols as well because it. So that shape is number 63. So 63 is that colour. Again, a lot of static. I just need one. And that's it. So that section is done, and because I'm using release paper, I don't need to bother trying to cut anything. I just peel the release paper up, and then I'm ready to work on the next section. The way that I work is, I don't know why, I've just always done it. I start in the bottom right hand corner, and then whatever symbol that is, I do all of that that's in the section, and then I'll take the next symbol to the left, and it's just the way I've done it. I mean, some people would maybe look and say, well, I've got mostly this, so I'll do all of them first. But I just always start in the bottom right and work along. Doesn't matter, as long as the drills go in the right squares, it's going to look fine. So E is 51. 51. And this is all I have of that colour. And I haven't done very much, which is always worrying when you see that you don't have much. But I'm just checking this. Yeah, 3051. So this is what I have in the lid. So it's DMC. Camera's upside down. So it's DMC code 3051. So this is what I've got left in the box, but this is what I've actually got. So when this is finished, I'll pour more in. I'll just keep them in the lid. And dropped a bit of fluff or something there, I think. Actually feels like glue. Got it. So I probably need all of these. So as I said, when I put the drills in the tray, I just shake it from side to side. The tray is very slightly tilted to the back to stop the drills falling out the front. you get to a point that most of the drills will be sitting right way up. The ones that are moving about are actually two square drills that are stuck together. So they will never flatten. That's what's causing the noise. But it really doesn't take... Once you get used to it, it's really easy to get them to flip over. So again, what I would do is a checkerboard. I used to do place a drill, leave a space, place, space, place, and work along in one row, but I've sort of changed that. Now I do a zigzag. So I do one in the bottom corner, and then one diagonally up to the left, and then back down and back up. And I work it in a sort of zigzag pattern. I don't know why I changed it, but I prefer to do it this way now. So the rest are further along. So what I'll do is I'll just make up the checkerboard for this little part, and then I'll fill it in and then move along to the next section. Normally when I'm doing this, I'm listening to music. I usually have headphones on and I listen to music while I diamond paint. It's just how I relax. So these ones are kind of random, but I've got some of the diagonal lines, so just going to do them. I don't have any set way that I'll absolutely always do it. It's just I just decide as I'm going. But I can see these ones here are kind of scattered, so just filling them in. It sort of helps as well because I'm right-handed. If I start working along, if I can get the drills in this side, it means my hand isn't sitting on the glue if I'm trying to work over here. So I'll start working this area to give my hand something to sit on without sticking. And then I would probably just start filling in the gaps. So as I said, I don't try and push the tweezers into the gap because they won't fit. So it's just a matter of taking the drill over the top, letting it go, and then just tapping it down. And you can always push things about if you think, like there, I've got the gap is slightly bigger than anywhere else, so you can just tweak if you want. It really doesn't matter because once you switch the light off and stand back, you won't see any of these gaps. But I can't help doing that. Every now and again, you'll see me just tweaking a drill, and I know that I don't have to do it, but I still do it. The main thing is to get the edges as straight as possible. And again, I just do that by hand. I don't use a rule or a straight edge or anything like that. I just place them by hand. And when I place them, I tend to push the drill down to the one below. But as long as it's inside the square. Because again, if I'm trying to place the drill above another drill, I can't get the tip of the tweezer in. So I put it slightly higher and then just push it back. So that's that little section done. I'll probably work on the right hand side, so there's some up here. But I find once you get used to tweezers, I think they're as fast as using a pen, and you don't have to stop and refill your pen, and you don't have pink wax anywhere. Normally, when you first load up your pen, the first few times you put a drill down, you'll get a little bit of excess pink wax. So you have to remember to pick that off. You don't want little blobs of pink wax in between your drills. But if you're using tweezers, you don't have to think about that. And it's really easy to manipulate with the tweezers. It's really easy to see exactly where the drill is and how much it needs adjusted. When you're using a pen, it tends to cover most of the drill while you're placing them. I think the hardest part of learning how to use the tweezers is not to press too hard. That's usually the biggest problem. People try and use them and the drills ping away. If the drill pings, you're pressing too hard. Because I do drop the drills now and again, but when I do, they just drop straight down and land on the glue. They don't shoot across the room like they did when I first tried it. I tried it one time and the drill shot away, and I thought, oh, forget this, and just went back to using a pen for a long, long time. But now I've figured it out, and I don't have any issues with the tweezers at all. Sometimes I'll even use them with round. It depends. Sometimes you get round drills where the edges seem pretty shallow and the tweezers tend to slide up the surface, and they just don't really pick them up. If I get that happening, I just switch to a pen. I don't try and persevere with the tweezers. But I will try them, and if they pick up okay, I'll use tweezers for round drills as well. So I'm just going back and filling in the bits that I've left. So I'm very quiet tonight. I'm saying tonight, but I know that a lot of people who diamond paint and watch YouTube stuff are in America. And I am 6 hours in front of Central Eastern Time. So for me, it is, what time is it? Just after 9 o'clock at night. A lot of people, it's the middle of the afternoon, so they're at work or they're busy doing other stuff. But by the time those people are coming on, at maybe 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, it's the middle of the night for me and I'm in bed. So every time I come on, I'm never sure if anybody is going to drop in and chat. Usually at least one person does, but there's always going to be the first time, so maybe that's tonight. I saw a comment in a group earlier today where someone was saying that they had got a drafting table and they were asking how people hold the tray while they're diamond painting. I use a drafting table, but I have it on a very low slope. It's enough to make it comfortable, rather than reaching over the table. The table's tilted up, so I'm sort of looking slightly up the table, and that makes a huge difference. When I started diamond painting, I was using the dining room table, which was okay at the very beginning, but then I started doing bigger diamond paintings, and apart from the fact we had to clear the table every time we wanted to eat, um, I found that I was starting to get a sore neck, sore shoulders, sore back, because I was sitting for so long, sort of hunched over the table. And then I got this drafting table, and I've got it. Can't remember what notch it's on, maybe 2 or something. And that made a huge difference. I can diamond paint for a long time, and I don't have any problems with my back or neck or shoulders. But I know that some people put their drafting table nearly straight up and down, like really high, and because of that, they can't put their trays on the table. They've got to either have a little desk at the side where they put their tray, or they have to hold the tray. The thing that I think about is if you've got your table at such a high angle, if you drop a drill, it's just going to land on the floor. Like if it doesn't matter if you're using a pen or tweezers, if your table is virtually vertical, um, anytime you drop anything, it's going to land on the floor. Whereas here, if I drop things, they just land here, and it's easy enough to just pick them up. The other thing is I can have all of the stuff that I need on the table. I don't. The tray just sits. That's because I use placemats. Because if I didn't, and I was using just release paper, it would be too slippery, and everything would slide down to the bottom. So I put table placemats on top, and that gives enough friction that everything sits where I put it. So I can have my tray sitting there. I can put my tweezers down. I have these containers sitting here. I've got the case with the Tic Tacs. I've got my junk tray just sitting there, and everything just sits on the table. I don't have to worry about anything sliding off, and I don't have like a side table. I know some people do that. So I'm not constantly turning to get stuff or pick stuff up. Everything is in front of me, and I really like that. I find it really convenient, and I'm not straining my back or by turning constantly to pick up boxes from a table beside me. So for me, a drafting table at a low angle just works really, really well. So I'm just concentrating on diamond painting. Usually when it's this quiet, I don't really talk much because I don't know what people want to talk about. So I've actually spoke more than I normally do when it's quiet. But just concentrating on what I'm doing. So what I'll do is I'll look for whatever colour I'm working on. I'll look for all of that in this area. I don't like just do all of it here, then move to the next colour and then go back to it up here. I try and do little tab on that one. I try and do all of it. but it's pretty common that I miss some, so I have to come back and get the stragglers. You can see I'm still sitting tweaking them. Even though I know I don't have to do it, I can't help it. That tick that you hear is the tips of the tweezers coming off the glue. So you find that the tips start to get sticky because they pick up some residue from the canvas, and sometimes you'll get extra drills. You got to pick up one, and you get one sticking to the outside of the tweezers. When I first started to get that, I would knock the drill off that was sticking to them, and then I thought about it, and I thought, why am I doing that? I'm going to be using that colour anyway. So what I would do is, if I pick a drill up and I get an extra one sticking on the outside, I'll put that down on a square or near a square, and then place the drill that I was going to place and go back and sort the one that I just put down. Talking about that, I don't think it's actually happened yet with the ceramic tips. It happened quite a lot with the metal ones, but I don't know if that's just coincidence that it hasn't happened yet. Sometimes I've had it where I've picked up one drill and I've had a drill stick to the tweezers either side. So one on the outside I'll put down on a square, the other one I'll put in a different square, and then I'll place the one that I was going to place. I was getting quite good at doing that. So sort of getting 3 drills for the price of one. As I said at the beginning when it was happening, I was knocking off the drill that was sticking. And then sometimes you get that where you're trying to put the drill in a square and it keeps flipping about. I could imagine people getting irritated at that. So I'm using tweezers, but I haven't given up on the diamond painting pens yet. I actually just received another 2 today that I will be doing unbaggings of in the near future. But I still do use the pens on rounds sometimes. If the tweezers won't pick them up, I'll go back to a pen. I've built up quite a collection. I like to try different pens from different companies and different materials and that sort of thing. So one that I got today, I haven't opened them yet, but one is made from a cactus, like a real cactus, and they let it dry out, and it's full of little holes, and then they fill it with resin, and then turn it. So it's going to be quite interesting to see that because I haven't actually got one like that. Just checking to see if I've missed any, and I have. I know I'm still going to end up missing some of it. Yeah, little cluster there that I missed. Again, I'm sitting tweaking them. I think that's it. Yeah, I think so. Time for another colour. So now we are looking for number 49, which is this one. Get the little spoon. Quite a few of these. Putting a little tray on top so I remember what number it is. Drop a couple. So just gentle shake from side to side. And that rattling, hissy noise will just gradually get less and less as more of them turn the right way up. And then you get to that point, nothing's moving. I've got some that are sitting upside down on top of other drills, but the vast majority are the right way up. And if you use a multiplacer, once you've got them lined up like that, just tilt it back a bit and tap it. And then it's like watching the Matrix or Tetris. And they'll slide down the channels. Don't want to tilt it too far because they start to pile up. You just tap it and you'll get nice little rows. So you see how shiny these drills are. Nice little rows if you're a person who uses multi-placers. I've never used them, never will. I just enjoy placing drills one at a time. So we're on to this one. And start to get the checkerboard going again. So when it's a square it has nothing either side, I'll place the drill directly in it, and I'm looking at the bottom left hand corner. That's what I look to line up. I don't worry if there's a gap at the other side. I just go for that left hand corner, and that's what I line up. But if I'm placing a drill where there is a drill below, I'll put it down slightly high and then just push it down into the gap. Like there. I can't get the tip of the drill in against that drill. There's always going to be a gap, so what I do is I drop it. Maybe exaggerated slightly there, but I drop it and then I just push it down. And then it's lined up. So you'll see every time when I put them down here, I put it down and then I push it into place. That's the really good thing about poured glue. Most companies now are doing poured glue, even the budget companies. When you had double-sided adhesive, it was so sticky that you couldn't really do that. It was once you put the drill down, it stuck. You couldn't really do that. It was once you put the drill down, it stuck. And really, the best thing to do if you had to adjust it was to pick it up again and move it. But with the poured glue, you can slide them around, even if you're pretty far off when you drop it. It's easy to slide and push into place. So that's a big plus for the poured glue. Sometimes I'll go along and place them a gap between each, and then the next row up, I'll go back the way. Sometimes I do the row and then I go back to the beginning and do the next row. I don't have any absolutely set way of doing it, but it's always checkerboard if I get a chance. I just find it helps to keep things nice and straight. So we've got a weather warning for Denmark, and a weather warning for Zealand, which is the island that we're on. Copenhagen, even though it's the capital of Denmark, is not on mainland Denmark. We're on an island called Zealand. They are stopping the trains in the north of Zealand tonight because of a storm that's coming in. They're expecting really strong winds. So must be pretty bad if they're going to stop the trains. But I can't actually remember the trains being stopped because of the wind. So now it's time to go back and fill in the gaps. That's the other benefit of doing checkerboard. You only really have to concentrate on the first pass. When you come back, all you're doing is basically filling in the gaps, so you don't have to really worry much about lining up. And if your drills are a little bit off, when you push that drill into the square gap, it'll line up the drills around it. I don't press the drills really hard down or anything. I put them in and then I use a little roller when I finish the section. This little roller, it's a rubber pad. It's not like hard plastic. And normally I didn't actually do it with this part, but I would just press it down to seat the drills. The other thing that I always do is I just go over with my fingertips, because sometimes it isn't obvious when you've got a drill that's sticking up. So I go over it and see if I can feel anything. If I can, I tend to just use my fingernail and push them in. And if they keep popping up, I start to look at the gaps to see what it is that's causing the problem. And usually it's because there's a little burr sticking out, and that's stopping the drill from seating properly. So what I would do is just pull out the drill that's causing the problems, replace it with a good one. So I ordered this just out of curiosity, because up till that point what I was doing was putting a tea towel down and using the kitchen roller, like the big two-handed wooden one. Put the tea towel down so the drills wouldn't dig into the wood on the roller. And then I saw these and I thought, do they actually work? That's why I ended up buying them, because I wanted to just try it, do a review. And I found they work really well, and they are nearly exactly the right size for the sheets of police paper I use. You see the width? Because I have like an overlap, so the section that work isn't exactly the size of the paper. It's a bit less. So I find that when I finish a section, it's as good as the width of the roller, and I just I use it. I think it works really well. That was one of these things that I got, wasn't really expecting much, and then found out actually it's better than what I was doing. So I use it all the time now. What I'll do is I use it on every section as I finish them, and then when I finish the diamond painting, I lay it out on the dining room table and I go over it again with the roller, and I still do the just using my fingertips. It's the best way to find any drills that might be sticking up. So I noticed I've got 3 very quiet people. I'm not sure if you're diamond painting and just listening, or if you've fallen asleep. And this is one of those drills. Takes a bit of messing about to get the thing to actually sit. Oops. Hi Virginia, thanks for dropping in. How are you doing?
Hi.
Hello.
Is there room for me?
You're going to have to move stuff.
No, not that much. Can I come in?
I suppose so.
Well, Emily's off to bed. She has a presentation tomorrow. So I thought I would come in here and do some diamond painting before I go to bed.
Virginia's asking how you are.
I am fine. Thank you. How is she doing?
Can you Can you hear Tammy?
You don't have to move everything. I just wanted to do a little bit of
No, it's just
all
all I need to do is turn a dial.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Virginia's the only one that spoke in an hour.
Oh.
Oh, you can hear both of us good.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to put this cup out here. Right?
Okay. Because I don't have the mic set up for two people. I wasn't expecting Tammy to come in. She was watching Vikings with her daughter.
That won't be long. I think we've got until about 10:30, and then Emily's going to be heading for bed. So.
Yeah. Well, what time is it? Yeah, I'm going to go at 10.
What time is it?
Just after 20 to 10.
Okay. Can't see because I don't have the thingy up on my phone. So did anybody else come in? You guys have any
Nope.
cool conversations?
No conversation at all. Three
None?
people have been in for a long time and nobody's said a word. Except me. But of course, you come in and suddenly somebody speaks.
Oh, Joe.
I know who their favourite is.
No. I don't think
There's
so.
always somebody. How's Tammy? My husband Mark and I are counting down 1 year until home in UK. So you've got a whole year to go.
Until they go back to the UK?
Yeah.
Oh, why have they been away?
I can't
Work or
remember.
something?
Was it your husband's? Was it Mark's work? I can't remember. Can't remember the story. It was a long time ago.
Oh, it sounds exciting anyway, huh? They must be really excited since they've got the countdown going on.
I don't know if many people are excited to go to the UK.
If that's your home, yeah, of course you would be.
I wouldn't.
That's because this is your home. Right?
Jim, you know I'm a chatter. Virginia's a chatter. I'm saying nothing.
What does that mean? I'm a chatter.
Yeah,
What?
obviously.
Yeah.
Mark's passport expires next year. I'm in love with the UK. Really? So you like rain?
There's nothing wrong with rain. Look, I'm on your side. I grew up in Washington State.
Says he when it's
rains,
been
rains,
raining all
rains.
day in Copenhagen today.
Has it? It didn't rain today. It's been foggy.
It was raining at my work. I know, because I had to go out.
Oh, but it didn't rain.
No?
Up in Ballarat, no. Anyway, there's nothing wrong with rain. I even loved it when we were in Scotland. The rain, the moss and the ferns and the greenness. I love it. Absolutely love it. But I like rainy weather. That's my favorite. So some people would think that's weird. I like rain. Rain is cool. So did she reply why they were going back? I would imagine it's probably work stuff or something.
Hi, Sandra Neta. That's an unusual name. The tweezers I'm using are ceramic tipped. I've got the camera upside down. I need to think about this. So they have ceramic tips that are sort of screwed on with fancy little screws. It's not a normal Phillips or anything. So they have these ceramic tips on them. These are the ones that I've been using for a long time. These are the stabby tweezers, very, very sharp. The ceramic ones aren't quite as sharp, but the difference is if you look at the width between the actual arms of the tweezer, I don't know what you call them, but these are much wider than these, and I think it's because of that. It's a lot easier to just finely adjust them and get them just right to pick up drills. Not that I had problems with these, but I find these are just better. They've also got enamel on them, which is curved, and it just makes them more comfortable. They're just having that rounded feel rather than the flat. Just, again, more comfortable, but I definitely find them easier to control. You can see, even though they're wider here, there, when you look at the tips, they're actually closer together. If I get that right. I'm not squeezing them. No, they're not. I must have been squeezing them slightly. They're actually the same. But I think it's this bit being wider, it makes it easier to, or I find anyway, easier to just get the pressure right without squeezing too hard. No, if I need to pick a drill out, if I've got like a sear drill that's defective and I want to take it out, I'll use the tweezers of death, because they are a lot sharper, so it's easier to get in that little gap and pop them up. So it's a bit more fiddly to try and pop out a drill. So these are on standby, just in case I need them. So actually, and I suppose thinking about it, I use 2 sets of tweezers. And as usual, I forgot what I was doing. Reading back. I am working on Springtime Beauty from Diamond Art Club. I've really just started it. So this is what I'm working on. And the part that I'm working on just now is this part here, this little branch. And this, there's a flower there, and then there's a leaf. That's the leaf. You can see it. So I'm working in this little area here. So I've still got that. I've still got a lot to go. And it's 76 by 60. And 67 colours. A lot of colour for a Diamond Art Club. Tammy is working on, what's it called? Just Fireplace? Fire? Doesn't have a name, does it?
It was a cheapy one that we bought, but I fell in love with it.
Yeah, she wanted a fireplace, so that's what she's working on.
I know we're just getting up to summer, so why am I working on a fireplace?
I don't know.
I don't know. Just wanted to.
She wanted a fireplace. That was cheaper than actually getting a real one. If I'd known that Tammy was coming in, I would have set up 2 cameras and you could have seen both.
It's all right.
It's too late now.
It's just a spur of the moment guest appearance.
Guest appearance. Special guest star tonight. Jim, I'm from Scotland, Virginia. She said Jim's a skinflint.
A what?
Skinflint.
What's that?
Cheapskate.
No, because he won't get me a fireplace.
Yeah, because I said the diamond paint's a lot cheaper than getting a real fireplace.
And
she said Jim's a skinflint.
No.
Yeah, we live in an apartment. We can't put a fireplace in due to fire regulations.
Otherwise,
and that sort of thing.
Trust me, we would have a fireplace.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be depending on.
I would have been nagged into submission.
I would give up our bed to buy a fireplace.
Really?
Yes.
I think we would need to discuss that.
No, we do like to do in the movies. We'd sleep in front of the fireplace with furs and blankets.
Yeah,
and
right? You don't see them trying to get up off the floor at 7 o'clock in the morning.
No, it'd be fun too.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
I'm telling you, it would be so much fun. You would
so
enjoy
much fun.
it.
Yeah. We could do a YouTube live, people watching us try to get up.
Yeah.
Take bets on who's going to stand up first.
Whoever gets up first has to help the other one.
Yeah.
We just need to do Pilates.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be
Mhm.
nice and flexible.
Really.
Yes. Well, I feel a lot more flexible after starting Pilates.
Virginia and Mark
Pilates
are
is
having
good.
Bubble and Squeak for dinner.
Bubble and Squeak. What's that?
What do you think it is?
Bubble?
Bubble and Squeak.
What is that? Scottish?
No. Virginia says, I don't hit the floor ever. That is a very wise decision.
Bubble and Squeak.
I don't know exactly what is in Bubble and Squeak. Is it cabbage?
Bubble. What is that a real dish? Bubble and
Bubble
Squeak?
and Squeak, yeah.
I'm thinking bubbly, so they're drinking
No,
champagne.
it's called
Squeak.
Bubble and Squeak.
What squeaks?
What is
Duck.
Bubble and Squeak?
You're having champagne with duck.
No, that'd be Bubble and Quack.
Well, what else squeaks?
Mice.
They're having mice with
They're
champagne.
having a mouse sandwich and a bottle of bubbly.
I forgot.
Yeah, shh.
Sorry, I'm kind of energetic.
Right, okay.
This is a good way to put it, right?
It's leftover pork and cabbage and veg. And you shape it like a fish cake.
Is she Scottish?
No, don't think so.
Why are you talking about Bubble and Squeak?
But I don't think.
What is that? Is
It's
she in
food.
the UK?
She's going back to the UK.
So she's from the UK.
I can't
So
remember.
you guys have the same dishes, Bubble and Squeak?
Bubble and Squeak. I know it was cabbage in it, but I couldn't really remember what else.
So it's from the UK, because I don't think I've ever heard of anything called Bubble and Squeak.
That means she's American.
But why is she talking about Bubble and Squeak?
Because her husband's
Why
English.
do I not know about Bubble? Well, you never told me about Bubble and Squeak.
But Bubble and Squeak is more an English dish.
So she's in America.
So her husband's.
You were in Denmark and you never told me about Bubble and Squeak. You're in trouble now.
Yeah. Virginia's American and Mark is English.
And
he's educated on English food. Bubble and Squeak.
Why didn't you do? All I know about is haggis and blood pudding.
Black pudding.
Sausage.
Black pudding.
Black pudding. Whatever.
Blood pudding doesn't sound quite as nice.
Haggis, and more haggis.
Yeah. Tammy likes haggis. After saying she would never ever try it.
Or square sausage.
Lawn sausage, square sausage, same thing.
You always call it square sausage.
Yeah.
Don't call it something that's not.
Okay. Square sausage.
So you have Bubble and Squeak and square sausage.
Yeah, Tammy is from Washington State originally, yes. Sandra Netta Hall was asking. You must have said, I never even picked up that you said it.
I did.
You did?
What did I say?
That you were from Washington State.
Yes, I'm from Washington State.
I wasn't listening.
I didn't say that today, did I?
I don't know. Maybe it was in another video. Can't remember.
Yeah.
But she is from Washington State. Sandra Netta lives in Oregon.
Ooh, my sister lives in Oregon. Did you tell them we're planning a big trip to the United States next year?
No.
Why not?
Tammy's planning a big trip to the United States next year.
We are all going to the United States next year. We're going to start in Alaska. We're going to go to Alaska, Canada, Washington State, where I'm from. And then we have a list of
we'll do a fund me.
Yeah, GoFundMe.
We'll do a GoFundMe and we'll live stream from all these different places.
We're just going to use half of our pension. We have time to save up again. Just kidding.
Yeah.
It's not till next year. We've got time to save up.
Yeah, any idea how fast a year goes?
We've got time.
Virginia's retelling because I've totally forgot the story with Virginia. So she's saying she lived in England from the age of 5 until 10. I swore I would go back. 36 years later, I met Mark. He was my I remember that.
I remember some of that too. Yeah.
Hang on. 36 years later, I met Mark. He was my nurse in the burn unit. I remember that. took a bit of jogging. But if I don't talk to people for a while, I just forget. I can't remember everything. It's an age thing.
Well, I think that's really cool. And she gets to go back now, which was that was her dream. So
Sandra Netta lived, everybody's English here. Sandra Netta lived in London.
Nice.
Until she was 12.
Okay.
She still visits family periodically.
Well, I've never been in London, but I really, really liked Scotland. I'd like to see more of the nature in Scotland. Scenery, it's just gorgeous there.
Well, what you should do is write down a list of all the places that you want to see, and then we'll sit one night and Google it, and we can look at pictures. That'd be a lot cheaper.
No. We're going to go to Carlsbad Caverns, did I tell you? That's in New Mexico, Jim.
Okay.
You've never been there.
Virginia says, we've been happy ever since. Taunton Dean, here I come. I'll turn Somerset on its ear. Somerset is the very south of England, where they make cider.
They make cider?
In Somerset.
Nice.
And they drive tractors.
Okay.
Sandra Netta has family who live in London and Nottingham.
Nice. I mean, it's so cool that you're going to get your dream come true.
Yeah.
Sandra Netta, you said?
No, it's Virginia.
No, I mean, but the other name.
Yeah, Sandra Netta.
Sandra
Netta Hall.
That's a nice name.
Yeah, it's an unusual name.
Yeah.
Sandra
So
Netta.
She lived in London for a while. She's got family over there, so just family.
She lived until she was 12.
She has a family like mine, all spread out everywhere.
Yeah.
I have family from Alaska to Hawaii, but none over here. I'm the first one that's ventured over here.
This is the problem that we've got, though. It's 10 o'clock at night for us, and for all you people across the pond, it's like the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because this normally what happens. I'll go on, and then I'm like, right, okay, need to go to bed, and just as I start heading that way, people start coming in.
Yeah. Well, that is just the way it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Glad right now that we're not being hit by earthquakes and stuff. The word's crazy what's going on over there, huh?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Sandra Netta is saying that every state is so different.
Yeah. That's true.
See, it doesn't mean anything to me. It's like, it's America. It's just like, it's America.
Yeah,
that's it.
My ex-mother-in-law used to ask me, so what's the weather like over there?
Yeah, in America.
I mean, there's
if you're in Vegas, it's quite warm.
She never could just grasp, how big the United States is. It's crazy.
It's ginormous.
It's the same thing when you're here in Europe. If you drive from here down through Germany and then you hit Austria, for example, there is a definite difference as soon as you get to Austria.
Yeah.
And then if you drive further from there to, we drove all the way to Italy one time, and it's just I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's just
No,
so
I
many
suppose.
differences.
Yeah, but I suppose that's one thing when you're in America. No, you can't. You can drive. I was going to say you can only drive to America, but you can go south.
What do you mean?
Well, if you're in America,
Yeah.
you can go down. Like I was thinking, when you're in America, you can only drive in America, like, and you can't go anywhere else. Whereas when you're in Europe, you can go. Like you were saying, you
Yeah,
can
no, what
drive.
she was saying, I was explaining from
Yeah, she's talking
different,
about the
different
states. Yeah, I
countries
know.
in Europe.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you're in America, driving from state to state to state. There's so much difference.
Yeah.
The difference in the culture, even from Washington State, where I'm from, where you have mountains and really nice nature stuff. And then when I moved down to Texas, where you run away from bugs because they can kill you. I mean, it's the different, and it's flat and steamy hot.
They should take knives off bugs. Should be illegal.
Absolutely insane.
Virginia's asking a serious question.
Okay.
Tammy, it's to you.
Yes, I've got my serious hat
Are you
on.
ready?
Now. I'm ready.
She says, Tammy, does Jim make you laugh every day?
Yes.
True story.
Absolutely every day.
Every day.
Every day. We have a great time together.
Sometimes she just looks at me and laughs, though.
Stop it. Stop. No, but yeah, I do a lot of laughing. No, I'm very, very happy. I think that also helps. But yeah. What about you? Does your husband make you laugh every day? Because every time I come in the room, I start laughing or what? They're just going to know me as this crazy person that comes in the room and just starts laughing. Yeah, that's true, though. You make me laugh all the time. I don't make him laugh as much as he makes me laugh, though.
Yeah,
sometimes I make him smile.
That's what I was going to say. It's talking
really
about like different people from different countries and different things. Like in Scotland, we've got a very, very dry humour. Like, I mean, how often do I really laugh out loud? Not very often that I can think of.
Not very often. I have a diary. I've written how many times I've actually made you laugh out loud.
Yeah.
It's not that many.
So Virginia says, Tammy, my marriage before was abusive. Yeah. And yes, Mark and his goofy looks make me laugh.
Oh.
It's nice to hear.
It's nice to find true love, though, and you know it when you found it. I'm sorry that your last relationship was horrible. Mine was too, by the way. And we move on, don't we?
Yep.
We move on.
Onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards. We move on and we do better.
To infinity and beyond.
Jim didn't have good relationships either. Nope. So he and I just really enjoy the little things in life. Just relaxing and just doing diamond painting and just enjoying each other, watching nature,
cops.
We enjoy so many things where people would be like, yeah, just like, why are you doing that? I don't know. We just have fun. Enjoy life.
Yeah, we started watching Cops, so we went on a binge of that. We just found that funny. They stop a car and they say, is this your car? And they get, they have to think about it.
Do you have a driver's license?
Yeah. Do you have any warrants?
That's hilarious.
Then they search the guy and they find a bag of drugs in his pants. And he says, these are your drugs? And he's like, no. He said, but they were in your pants. He said, but they're not my pants. They're I live with somebody else and I'll just put them on today and I never checked the pockets.
I mean, the excuses.
How did you two meet? And Tammy, how long? Okay. Sandra Netta. You can. Can you hear Tammy? Okay, Sandronetta, if she tells the story.
What's the story? Mm-hmm. What am I telling the story of?
I'll read the question in a minute.
Okay.
I just want to know that she can hear you okay.
Well, if somebody else said they could hear me.
Yeah, it's just the thing is we're meant to be getting quiet now.
Oh. I can come over to you.
Oh yeah.
What is it? What am I supposed to say?
Yeah, I said she can hear you. She says, how did you two meet? And Tammy, how long have you lived in Copenhagen?
Okay.
Well, Virginia gave the story away.
Did she?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
You see it there?
What?
Bottom
And
line.
that during World of Warcraft. Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, this is
no, it's fine.
The whole point of doing this is to get a chance to chat to people. I mean, I can sit here and diamond paint all night, but
yeah, Virginia's right though. We met playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I moved over here because I was in Texas working for a shipping company, and that's where I met my ex-husband. He was Danish. And we decided to move over here. Things didn't work out between us after quite a few years, and I already had 2 kids. And then I was alone, and I started playing World of Warcraft for some reason. And I met Jim. It's kind of a strange story. Oh God, this feeling like everything happens for a reason. It was really weird because I was briefly with another guy about 4 years after my divorce. It was 4 years, maybe 5 years. I can't remember. I was just briefly with this guy that I liked, and I knew somebody that knew him, so I felt kind of safe that, he wasn't a weirdo. And we didn't live together or anything. We just dated just briefly, but he got me interested in World of Warcraft. Then I wasn't with him anymore because, it just didn't work out. But during the game, while playing the game, I was trying to get that other guy's character from one little country to another inside the game, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. And so I was wandering around trying to find a night elf, which people that don't play World of Warcraft wouldn't probably understand. But anyway, I was trying to find a certain type of character so I could ask them. And I was chatting to them, and I was saying, hey, can you help me? And I asked and asked and asked, and nobody would talk to me. I finally found one, and he replied to me. And his name was Drew, and he was very helpful and told me exactly what to do. And then he invited me to his guild, which I didn't know what was. And I was very kind of like, what's that? And anyway, I got into the guild, and Jim was in that guild, just happened to be that guild. And I didn't know that you could chat to each other. I didn't know that, you could see the name of your character above your head in the game. I didn't know. I was total noob. And then found out later on that Jim had been trying to talk to me in the game several times because we were in the same guild. And I didn't know that because I wasn't looking at the thing. And he said several times he'd been like, hello.
Because what happened was the guild master, the guy who ran the guild, he had messaged me and said, we've got a new member. Her name's Tammy, but she's really new and she doesn't really know much about the game. So if you see her character in the game, make sure you ask her if she needs help or like give her some hints and tips and that sort of thing. So I was playing the game a few days after that, and I saw Tammy's character. And in the game, your character name is above your head. And then if you're in a guild, the guild name is underneath your name. So I saw her and I thought, oh, that's that new person. So I went over and I typed in a message. Hi, I'm in the same guild as you. Do you need any help? And I never got any reply at all, nothing. So I thought, okay, Just left it. She just walked away, and I was like, okay.
It's
And
amazing
then I
we
saw
ever
her.
actually
Yeah,
found
I
each
saw her
other.
again another time.
You could have quit the game after that.
I tried
We would have
again.
never met each other.
And then I got a hold of Drew. I sent him a message, and I said, I'm trying to talk to this new person, but she's not answering, not even looking at me. And he said, yeah, she's really new. So what I did was I got my character went around in front of her character and started jumping up and down in front of her. And her character turned and looked at me and then turned and just walked away. I thought, this is a hard gig. Then eventually she realised you could actually send messages a bit like this. You get a message up on the screen, but it was at the bottom of the screen. But she wasn't looking. She was just looking at the game. She wasn't looking at the bottom. And finally she realised, and I said, hi, and you stopped and turned because you must have seen the message. And then she's just standing.
Yeah, because I was freaking out.
Yeah,
because he said we're in the same guild.
I said, hi, we're in the same guild.
And I came from who said they came from a bad relationship. And so I was also kind of skittish and stuff. And he wrote, we're in the same guild. And I was like, oh my God, it's an internet stalker. Oh my God, what do I do? I was freaking out. And then it was just Jim just trying to be helpful and talk to me. I finally figured out, I didn't know that my name was above my head and the name of the guild and stuff.
Yeah, because Tammy's thinking, how does he know my name?
How do you know me? And then
the letters are about a foot high above her character.
I actually talked to you though that day, and we ended up typing, and then you offered to show me some things, and I was still kind of
the first date,
iffy about you.
The first date we went on was to the dead mines.
To a dungeon.
That was the first place we went together.
But I mean,
the dead mines in World of Warcraft.
Think about it. If I hadn't had an abusive family and ended up moving to Denmark with some crazy Danish guy I met, and then divorced him and met somebody that was interested in World of Warcraft, started playing World of Warcraft, I would have never met Drew, the guild master that Jim was in a guild with, and we would have never met. And then we knew each other for years and years and years that way.
Yeah.
Before, because you were living with somebody, and I was with Michael
I was going through a really crappy time as well. I think that was part of the thing. But once we started,
somebody, we weren't.
Yeah,
like
but
that, we were just friends.
Once we started talking to each other more, we started to realize we had things in common, bad relationships and stuff.
Yeah, it's just amazing how everything fit together, and all of a sudden we met, and we've been together for how long? You've been living here for you've been living here for 10 years. We've been married for 4. We met through a video game. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm going to go back over here. I need to sit.
Okay.
Oh, my old back is old.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it, I can't regret anything either. I can't regret my past because everything in my past led me to you.
Mm.
So if I regret anything, we wouldn't have met.
Yeah. So
it was worth it. Everything that I've been through was worth it to end up with. Yeah, not to sound corny, but yeah, to end up where we are right now. It's really cool. So everything happens for a reason, I guess some people say.
Mark in Virginia married 5 years on the 9th of December.
Oh, congratulations.
2022, so it'll be 6 years this coming December.
All right, congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's nice. I mean, we should write a book about this, Jim. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
What are the chances? If I had never replied to you in that game, and if I had gotten tired of it and just decided to quit, we would have never met.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been with that creepoid for a while and started playing World of Warcraft, we would have never met. There's so many things that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe if I'd had a better, I don't know.
I'm going to use the golden tweezers.
Maybe I wouldn't have even moved over here. Maybe I would have stayed in the United States. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have met.
there was a tiny little eyelash
Eyelash.
on the glue.
Wasn't me.
So
I'm far away. It
I had
wasn't
to
me.
use the really pointed ones because the ceramic ones wouldn't have picked that up.
Oh.
So they still get used. Virginia says, I have one regret. I didn't meet Mark earlier. We spoke about that as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I think about that as well. If I could have sped things up a bit so Jim and I could have got together earlier, absolutely would have. But, you have to also think about all the things that you went through made you who you are. And if you hadn't gone through those things, you might not have been ready for Mark. You know what I mean? I might not have been ready for you if I hadn't, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain. People probably understand what I'm trying to say. If you don't get to a certain point in your life, you just, I don't know. That's just something I thought about at one time.
Okay. Sandra Netta's joining in. She said, oh, wait a minute, I'll go back a bit. I'll go back a bit because I noticed. I read her comment and I realised she commented before that.
Yeah.
She said, you two are so funny! Exclamation mark. And this is us trying to be quiet.
Yeah.
You have such a wonderful story. It sounds like you were meant to meet and meant to be. Yeah, we think so.
Well, I mean, how else are you going to think about it? Seriously, the chances of us meeting is just...
Yeah. And then she said, so grateful for your online presence. Yes, I too met my husband online 23 years ago and been married 22 years in May.
23 years ago.
Was the internet even
I know.
going 23 years ago?
What were you doing online 23 years ago?
23 years ago.
That's crazy. That was right when everything
that'd
started.
be 2000. What am I thinking?
Wait, what?
This is 2023.
So that was right when things started. Yeah. Because Amanda was...
It's just 23 years ago. Sounds
crazy. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I started working in 1980, which was only 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's quite scary when you see things up on Facebook like Dio's album came out like 44 years ago, and you're like, what?
Oh my God, I bought that album.
Yeah, on tape.
I know.
That's crazy. I think the older you get, the faster time goes. See, Virginia says, and Jim's only 39.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I bought it before I was born.
So I married a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Cradle robber. Is that what they call him?
I don't know.
So did she ever come back and say what they were doing 23 years ago on the internet? It's crazy. They didn't have online dating, I don't think, but they did have games, and they had...
She says, hang on.
Did they have Xbox back then?
She said it was just meant to be. It was just when the internet. It was when the internet just started.
Yeah.
And she said, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Oh, such a cool story. Congratulations.
And she said, it's true. The older we get, the faster time seems to fly by. That is true. That definitely is true. I mean, I've been here 11 years, nearly. It'll be 11 years in May.
Well, I find myself saying all the time, yeah, the other day this happened, and the other day this happened, and it was like...
Yeah, the other day, it was like 2 years ago. Yeah.
It wasn't the other day. It was like,
she said that they met online in a chat community.
Oh, cool. See, you just never know.
It's usually only the bad stories you hear. I mean, I spoke about this before. The guy in England, I don't know if I told you this one, Virginia. I don't know if you were in. There was a guy in England
Was that like headline news or something? You keep mentioning that one guy.
Well,
It
it's
wasn't
just the
somebody
whole.
you knew, was
No,
it?
no, it was in the newspaper, but it's just the whole story. MSN. Oh man, MSN.
MSN.
We
Yeah.
used to talk in MSN.
Yep.
Yeah, this guy in England was married and had kids, and he met a woman on the internet while he was still married, and she was in America, and they started something, chatting to each other, sending pictures and stuff, and that went on for, I forget, I think it was something like 2 years. His wife never knew anything about it. And then he finally decided he had to be with this woman in America. So he packed in his job, divorced his wife.
Yeah, but wasn't this the one that also did voices of the kids?
Will you let me get
Oh,
through the story?
sorry.
Nothing like.
Well, you didn't tell that yet.
I'm getting
He's
to
already
build my
packing
own
his job.
story.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay,
So
go.
anyway, so
I'll be quiet.
yeah, get somebody to throw that heckler out. I'll be quiet. That's the
Sorry.
best one I've heard yet.
All right.
So anyway, he decides that he's going to divorce his wife. So he splits up with his wife. They sell the house. He uses the money to go to America to be with this woman. The thing is, he doesn't tell this woman that he's coming to America. So he has her address, and he goes, gets to the address, knocks on the door. A woman answers the door. It's not the woman that was in the pictures. And she said, Virginia's throwing tomatoes at you.
Sorry.
So
All right.
he goes to this door and he asks for this woman. And the woman answered, said, she doesn't live here. She said, but I know her. She lives like in the next street. So she gives him the proper address. So he goes to the door gets answered, and the woman looks nothing like the pictures that she'd been sending him. And the thing is, when he was in the UK, he would call her, they would talk on the phone. I think it was before we had video chat and stuff. So they were just like emailing pictures and things back and forward and talking on the phone. So while he had been talking to her from the UK, he had also been talking to her two kids and on the phone. And he found out she didn't have any kids. She had been making like kids' voices. He'd actually been talking to her, thinking he was talking to her two kids.
God, psycho.
So he had packed in his job, divorced his wife, sold his house, went to America, and found out the whole thing was a lie.
That's scary.
But that's the sort of thing that people think about, like when you say you met somebody on the internet.
Yeah.
But I think that's changed a lot. Like now it's pretty common for people to say they met online.
Yeah, but I remember when you first
But
moved
back
here,
then,
we
yeah,
told people that we met through a common.
Yeah, we just said we met through a friend in England, which was true.
It was
but,
true. The guild master.
Yeah, but we just never said that we met online on a game.
A common acquaintance
Yeah.
in England. Yeah, it's true though. I didn't actually come clean until years and years later. I don't think it was until it was actually how many years after you moved here that we finally started saying, okay, it was through a game, World of Warcraft. We played it, all right?
Yeah, and then sometimes you say that and people say, oh, I used to play that.
Yeah, now it's like, if you say that, people are like, oh, that's cool. I know some people that got together through that game as well, and you know. But back then, nobody.
Yeah, it was just a bit
knew
weird.
World of Warcraft. Nobody knew anything about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if we had said we met through an adult dating website, they'd be, oh yeah, okay. But we were like, we met through World of Warcraft, and they'd be like, what?
Yeah,
what is that?
We were playing a game.
We were playing a game online. Like, seriously?
I know. Yeah, I'd still like to get that picture made though. Remember we were trying to figure out a picture in World of Warcraft so we could do a diamond painting out of our
characters.
characters. Yeah, that'd be cool. We just haven't gotten around to that yet.
Yeah.
I think we have a few diamond paintings to
Yeah,
go through
quite a few.
because somebody keeps buying them, not naming any names, not throwing any tomatoes, but it's not me. Hint, hint.
Are you insinuating something?
No, I am accusing someone of something.
But think about it. If
Mhm.
I hadn't started doing diamond painting, I wouldn't have started a YouTube channel. We wouldn't be talking to Sandra Netta and Virginia.
See?
See,
There you
everything
go.
has a purpose.
Everything has a purpose. But we have to turn it off now because Emily's going to bed in 3 minutes.
Okay.
So we're going to have to be quiet so she can get some sleep. She has a presentation to do tomorrow at the school thing.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to read a couple of comments.
Mm-hmm.
Sandra Ned says, your story shows that hope springs eternal. I was like you, Tammy. I would tell people we met online almost under my breath. My husband was so proud to tell how we met.
Yeah.
And then Virginia says, hey, Jim, after you finish Springtime Beauty, mail it to me.
She wants the painting.
That's the funniest thing you've ever said, Virginia. Not going to happen. It's going up in the canteen at work. Sandra Ned says, diamond painting is so very rewarding.
It's very relaxing. I love it.
And
Never thought I'd be doing it.
Virginia is going to get a diamond painting of the entire Sistine Chapel. Good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to have to go. As I said, the problem we've got is it is late. It's 10:30. I get up at 5 for work, so we're heading off. So thanks for the conversation. I really thought this was going to be the very first time that nobody spoke, but it didn't happen. Well, it didn't happen until Tammy came in the room. Yeah, Tammy walks in, it's like, brrr.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think you've got stalkers.
Okay, good night,
Right,
guys.
okay, that's it. So thanks for watching.
Talk to you soon.
Catch you again. And
thanks for the stories, guys. That's really cool to hear.
in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.